Good evening to all of you. Let's start with this session. So first of all, my usual question. So what you have to say about this level of difficulty of Bullbach at 12? Only verbal section. We are taking verbal right now. Verbal means 34 questions, excluding AR 16 questions. Pritika, you found this to be tough this time. Okay. What about rest of the tough in terms of RCs, in terms of understanding, in terms of finding close options? You came across close options often. Okay, so because the perception why we feel sometimes that verbal is difficult or not, primarily it is all because that RCs, because of RCs primarily. Then we have got few sentence rearrangement questions and misfit question, third number, and primarily it's RC. If find RCs to be simple or manageable, then I'll say that it is moderate to tough, otherwise it is tough. Paper would be tough. So let's see what we have. So in this number of difficult questions were 7 to 8. Moderate around about 16 to 18, and rest were easy. Moderate 21, kind of 21, difficult 8, and rest easy questions. So one or two RCs. Gagan Jolly, you're asking what is the technique to save time during while solving RCs. Gagan, first of all, are you an online student only, or are you this a regular student? Gagan, you are a regular student. Sector 8 Chandigarh, which particular center you are from? Okay, Gagan, so have you did you attend this RC session? To save the time is, first of all, you need to practice a lot before you think of taking real CAT, and second is increase your technical vocabulary related to different field. For example, we all are stuck whenever we come across something which is based on hardcore psychology, something which is based on philosophy, etc. So make sure that you practice a lot these RCs based on these areas, and make the list of the words from these areas which you find difficult. Learn, remember, cram these words, practice these subjects. Then you will be comfortable in handling these RCs, because RCs speed can only be increased if I am comfortable with the vocabulary, if I am familiar with these subjects. Am I clear, Gagan? So do not stick to only few social RCs, political RCs or technical RCs. Make sure that you visit different sites, read articles based on different areas. Let it be philosophy plus music plus biology. Let it be technology plus psychology. Let it be medicine plus music plus meditation plus something like this. So make sure that you increase your Shalini. You are not able to hear. Rest all are. The mic is blinking here. It means from my side voice is going. Just check your connection, Shalini. But you're not. I'm not audible to you, so there'll be no point. You'll understand my whatever I'm saying. Sarthak, everyone can hear me. So full audible. Yeah. Just type. One of you just type that. Check your connection, Shalini. One of you just type 12150127767. I think this is your second or third session with me. Just check your connection, Shalini. I think some network problem is there. Yeah, you were there in first session. Okay, then let's move on to what we have in this session. Mock CAT 12. The question which I picked up is your confusing vocabulary usage, and these questions are no doubt moderate to tricky, moderate to tough when it comes to picking up the option. But in case if you are able to track 4 sentences out of 5 given sentences, we are through. We can pick up the right answer option. So guys, just rush through this question. So what was your take? So did you get this fine correct? In this concede versus confess. Confess is used whenever we admit our mistake before someone. That's called confession. Confession has got negative connotation. Concede is when you force somebody to agree to something. It's called concede. Rest is fine. Rest of the words are fine. Deterrence is to stop somebody from doing something. Deference to show respect. Clique is group of college friends, etc. The psychopaths lie without compunction, without regret. It's fine. It's not compulsion. Would not make any sense here. After some days of heavy rains, the conditions were not ideal, but both sides put in credible over creditable. Creditable is credit. The base word is credit. Credit means creditable means praiseworthy. So it is. Answer to this question was second, all A's. So point is this, that if we manage to track 4 out of 5 correct, we are through. We can solve these kind of questions. But point is, sometimes we come across very confusing usages. The words are simple, no doubt, but sometimes the usages, their usages are so confusing that we are unable to decide. So make sure that you take the help of choices even. So let's move ahead. I have picked up a few few questions from RCs and few parajumble questions. So this is first parajumble. So this is kind of chemistry gave us medicine, more fresh blood, food, etc. Question number 53 from your bull mock 12. I think the last passage was very difficult. Lacan, the religion, Christians based passage, and one of the out of 4 passages, 2 were really difficult. I found this last to be difficult, and one more to be difficult. I shall be coming on to this those particular paragraphs also. So coming on to this question first. So yes, guys. So how did you find this question? Got this question correct or not? What's the answer? Pritika, no. Yes, Shalini. Now, am I audible? Is my voice reaching your terminal side? Okay, so answer to this is okay. First of all, as far the tricks are concerned, I told you so many times that we need to track opener, closure, and mandatory pairs. Opening sentence, generally journal, will always introduce the theme of the discussion, can stand alone and independent. Mandatory pair, we have got 4 or 5 tricks to track mandatory pairs. Can be any 2 sentences which cannot be separated. Wherever they go, they remain together. They cannot be separated. They move together. And if I talk about mandatory pair trick, first is noun pronoun. First noun containing sentence should come, second pronoun. Then we have chrono pairing. First past time, second present, third future. Then we have this cause effect. First cause should come, then effect should come. And someone requested me last time that I should highlight these tricks, so I'll just rush through these tricks. So we are right now talking about mandatory, how to find 2 connected sentences. One is noun pronoun. First noun should come, second pronoun should come. Second is cause effect. First cause containing sentence will come, second effect sentence. This cause and effect will form a mandatory pair. Then is chrono pairing. With respect to time, we can join 2 sentences. For example, first past time, second step present time, and third future time should come. So if any one of the time frame is missing, then also order would remain the same. Then we have got keyword link, very important. This will help you in that even. So keyword link, if you find, let's say corruption is one of the keywords in your sentences, and you find the same word corruption in one more sentence, then these 2 sentences can be joined, can be linked, and will form a mandatory pair. So this way we can join 2 sentences, and these are the ways. So try to locate opener sentence, closure sentence, mandatory pair. If you find one of these elements, for sure they will be able to track these questions, the track right answer option, and we will just solve this question just in less than 1 minute, and accuracy would be more than 80%. So I think this we all need. Time less and accuracy more. Dil mange more. That's what we need. So answer to this question, let's try to figure out the opener. Opener in the 2 choices given as E to D. So D, just go, it may be too much to expect. So it cannot be starting from impersonal, it has to be E. Now after E is an opener in this case. Our fascination with the brain seems to become from longing, means desire to make psychology more like a hard science, hence we assume it to be more useful. So E could be an opener. So after E, the 2 choices are there, E, B or EC. Go through B, psychology is still making baby steps. So we have to compare this with someone before highlighting this, that it is still making a baby step with respect to what. So after E, C will come. So C is physics, gave us electricity, skyscraper and internet. It has given us a lot. A, chemistry has given us. So CA will form a mandatory pair and BD will form a mandatory pair. So answer to this is ECABD. That's how we track. First, look at the choices, read the sentences, try to figure out what is going on a little. Look at the choices, opener, closure and mandatory pair. That's how we go. Am I clear, guys? So in this we have 2 mandatory pairs, CABD, E opener. Therefore answer to this question is third. Press yes if I am clear. Shall we move ahead? Okay, let's move ahead. Now in this we have to find out the misfit. Question seems to be tricky a little in the first go, but if you delve deep a little, you will find this to be very easy. In the 3 sentences we are talking about, people think they are below. For example, in the 3 sentences we have given, people think they are above average in, let's say, area being talked about. If I talk about, so in one of the sentences it is that they are below. So track the sentence in which below the average has been mentioned and 3 sentences should be linked together in which above average is mentioned. They are above average, par, or better than average, etc. So these sentences are 2, 3, 4, and I think the first one is out. Yeah, Divya, you're absolutely fine. First is odd one because in this we are talking about more than below 50 percentile, below 50%, and another above average or above. Yes, Divya, answer is 1. You're right. You cannot be wrong. Divya, you're born genius. So now the point why I picked up this question. See, we cannot apply all the tricks which I just told you while solving the previous question. Opener, closure, mandatory pair, etc. Here we have to group 3 sentences, and they can be grouped. Sentences can be grouped. They can be linked together with the help of theme in the sentences. It's very difficult to apply all the tricks here while solving misfit question. Parajumbles can be solved with the help of opener, closure, and mandatory. But we cannot solve apply same tricks while solving to solve misfit question. Here you have to read the questions very carefully, the all sentences very carefully, and try to link the sentences. So my point of Pritika didn't get it. What you didn't get? This question or the right now whatever I'm saying. Praful Jigyasu, you are playing in the 4th option. Yes. 0% is also means they are still positive in all the sentences. Through 2, 3, 4 the theme is they are positive. And in the first negative perception is being shown. Even 0% chance means you are absolutely fine that your marriage will not end in divorce. 0% means happy. So you need to go with the theme. This is what you asked, Pritika. Okay. Now let's see which particular passage or summary based question I have picked up. Now this is we have to find out the summary. Summary means you need to sum up the discussion. Right now whatever we are discussing, if I ask you to sum up the discussion, you will start with something that sir started with, the overall level of difficulty of this paper, and then we picked up few misfit questions, few parajumble question, and few summary based question. And at the while teaching, taking this analysis, he told us few tricks related to sentence arrangement question. That's how we pick up the main ideas. While to summarize, while summarizing any piece of text, we need to take into account the main ideas only. We need to leave examples aside, facts, data aside. We just need to pick up the main ideas. That's it. That's how we summarize the situation. So if you just rush through this, you will find this 56th question of your passage paper. According to structural strain theory, societies are characterized by both culture and social culture. Culture establishes goals for people in society, while social structure provides, or sometimes fails also to provide, the means for people to achieve the set goals or established goals. In well-integrated society, people use accepted and appropriate means to achieve their goals that society establishes. In this case, goals and means of society are in balance. Means whatever I want to achieve, I'll get all means to achieve my goals. My society is in balance. It is when goals and means are not in balance with each other. Means goals, I want to achieve something, and to achieve that particular thing, I'm not able to find suitable means. That is where the line is. With each other, the deviance is likely to occur. Now, I may adopt unfair means. I may go out of way, etc., etc., to achieve my so-called passion. This imbalance between cultural goals and structurally available means can actually lead to individual into deviant behavior. Then we start behaving abnormally. That is what the question is, the entire story is. So we need to sum up this. Pick up your choice, guys. Don't try to recall even answer. Try to think in a totally fresh way. Yes, guys, answer. Should I read choices even? Okay. It says that first, according to structural strain theory, deviant behavior is an outcome of incapacity of society. There is no way in the point it mentions society has incapacity to take itself out of balance or imbalance, or society outcome of incapacity society to maintain at balance for itself. Society itself cannot manage. It is a system we are talking about is in balance. Means whatever you think you should do and whatever the means available. First is I think little out because of incapacity, and third is also Anu Mishra 1. You think that 1 is a no 1 I have just rejected. If I've rejected one because of the incapacity of society to balance, apt balance, to find apt balance for itself, same goes for choice number 3 also. According to structural string theory, David behavior is an outcome. Till here it is final inability of the society to maintain apt balance by itself. It is not that society can find balance itself. It's not mentioned in the could be what are the inferences? Fine. 1 and 3 cannot be the summaries. Related with 2nd and 4. So 2nd and 4 very close. Incapability of the society and inability of the society. Now we are referring to people, system, government and tradition, cultures, etc. Inability of the people, society, etc. It cannot be incapacity or ability of the society. It is something. Answer choices between incapability and inability. So answer to this is inability. We are not able to maintain the right balance. Inability of the society to balance itself. Let it be because of the culture, tradition, very close choices. Just play of words in literal sense, no doubt, just to confuse you. That's my answer to this is 4th. Because nowhere it is mentioned that society is trying to balance itself. Therefore, we need to reject it. The inability of society to balance itself. First say apt balance for itself. For the preposition, from this for preposition we can make out that society is not trying to balance itself, and by itself is again society is not. It is actually yes Shalini, it's very little difference. The difference is of preposition grammatically. For and by more or less same. By itself or for itself. Society is not trying to find itself for something for itself and by itself. So it is society to balance, inability of society to balance itself. So with just little play of preposition grammar, am I clear guys? That how come the choices can be made too close just by changing a few words? Okay, meaning changes just with a change in preposition. Now it's about again summary based question. Conflict theory emphasizes. Take your time, take 1 or 2 minutes, rush through this particular question. Okay guys, so what's the answer to this question? It says that conflict theory emphasizes the role of coercion. Coercion is a very strong keyword here. Do we know the meaning of the word coercion? Because unless we know the meaning of coercion, we cannot solve this question. Yes, coercion is unjust use of force. You compel somebody to do something. It's coercion and power in producing social order. This perspective is derived from the works of Karl Marx, who saw society as fragmented into groups that compete for social and economic resources. Social order is maintained by domination, with power in the hands of those with the greatest political, economic and social resources. When consensus exists, it is attributable to the people being united around common interest, often in opposition to other groups. Now this is what the theory is saying. Marx theorized the work of producing consensus was done in superstructure of the society, which is composed of social institution, political structures, etc. And what it produced consensus for was the base of the economic relation of production. Following on the heels of Marx, Italian scholar and activist Antonio Gramsci argued that consensus to rule achieved in large part through cultural hegemony. Again, a very difficult word. We can put difficult words to confuse you, to kill your time. That's how we can confuse you. Yeah, Pritika, it's dominance. Dominance, cultural dominance, which refers to dominant groups' ability to attain consent to their rule through ideas, norms, values and beliefs. So it talks about theory. Let's say in so many of the groups at one place, one group will gain the position because of coercion and power. One who has the group which has maximum number of resources under its control. That's what Karl Marx's theory is all about. And this was further extended by one economist from theorist from Italy, social reformer. So we need to pick up the answer. So option 1 says conflict theory as established by Marx taken forward by. So one incorrectly says that these theories were founded by, proposed by, propounded by, created by these two people. This perspective is derived from the work of Karl Marx. It is not that they gave this theory to the world. So first is technically wrong, cannot be the summary. Yes, Shalini, Shashwati, Rashmita, yes, it is 4th. Conflict theory, second says conflict theory, major deviation of Marx and Gramsci goes. Major deviation, cannot be major deviation. Work has been derived, it cannot be major deviation. Conflict theory in parts the works of Karl Marx and Gramsci explore the superstructure of society, highlight how these in part take control superstructure effectively run the world. We are not talking about the entire world. We are talking about the running the place only. Fourth is the correct summary. Summary means pick up the major ideas, put them at single place. Conflict theory with contribution. Now the correct best word is contribution from these two scholars. Highlight how force and common interest bring. Force is coercion and common interest is consensus. Bring together powerful elements of society, which in turn use their hegemony, dominance to produce social order. That's what the theory is, the passage is all about. Okay, guys, let's move ahead. Again, one of the summary based question. It's question number 59. So take your time, just rush through. One of the hallmarks of the early hominids, you're talking about the early human creatures and some primate, was the fact that pair of parents would rear, nurture, will bring up and protect any offspring instead of either leaving one parent to take care of children or to just let the offspring fend for themselves in the wild. So one of the features of our ancestors, early human beings. Now what caused this change in behavior has been debated. Now, however, one theory has come to explain this behavior. Professor Garth Fletcher claims that it was the feeling and emotion of the romantic love. Kind of very strange to hear this particular word and this emotion existing in that particular line, romantic love, rather than the infatuation which is order of the day today. So romantic love that created a stronger pair bonding experience for those early human ancestors. So the bond of this romantic pair translated into more stable protective environment for which to raise offspring. Offspring would survive longer and even thrive with this type of life compared to others who were essentially raised by just one parent or the other. Now, passage has given has emphasized on this romantic bonding was a major reason in the earlier societies for the children offspring to thrive for a longer period of time and be healthy, be united with the families. So we need to pick up the choice which can which highlights this particular thought process. Yes, guys, answer to this is again. The first is very funny. It says that born out of a love between romantic pair. Earlier they were romantic and love existed. Now we are talking about parenting, not about what happened earlier. Third says, as derived from the life of early human primate, is essential for the offspring that parent pair should be involved in. It is not that they should be involved. It happened. It existed at that time. That's what passage is saying. Third rejected because of this. As can be seen, yes. Pritika, Rashmita, Sarthak, yes, second is the right answer. As illustrated from the early, as shown evidence clearly coming from strong romantic pair bonding. So fourth is also very funny. As seen came from the example of when primate offspring development is directly linked to the kind of relationship shared by the parents. So it is kind of, we are just touching superficially and coming out. Fourth is not entirely wrong. It is just superficially touching. We're not getting deep into this question and we're not picking up the main idea. So second is the answer. Let's see what we have next. So very interesting paragraph. This is generally paradoxes we used to share with our friends, classmates to prove them wrong that you are moving or you are not moving. Something is stationary, something is not stationary. So very famous paradoxes as proposed by one Greek philosopher, Zeno of Elea. So guys, how was the paragraph? What do you have to say about the paragraph? This RC. I've just picked one question, that's it, based on this paragraph. And it is about deceivingly arrow theory. Now arrow says he has talked about a paradox. Paradox means two simultaneously opposite situations existing simultaneously. Means outcome of negative events positive, outcome of positive events negative. So that's called paradox. And one person gave so many paradoxes. Initially he gave 40 and now till now we have got only few survived because of the tyranny of the time. So arrow, just rush through the arrow part. It will take not more than 1 minute. It should not take more than. Arrow says that imagine an arrow shot from a bow. During a certain span of time moves from point A to point B. But at any instant, where is the arrow? Answer, in any instant the arrow occupies a space exactly equal to its length. Fine, logical answer. Now at instant of time is bit like a geometry point. At the point in geometry has no spatial magnitude, has no length, no breadth. Point has nothing, no spatial sense, dimension attached to it. Similarly, an instant has no temporal length. An instant means the time has no temporal length. If I talk about nanosecond, it isn't merely a very short period. A fraction of a nanosecond, it takes up no time whatsoever. So, no spatial, no time, but motion takes time necessarily. So how does arrow ever move? Time is not moving. Time is standstill as per the reduction theory, and the position point is standstill. So we say that even arrow is shot from the bow, it is at rest. So every instant it is at rest, so it is always at rest. Very manipulative theory. Anu Mishra, not visible. The what is not visible, Anu? The passage is because of its shade or something, because of its length, font size. Just type what is the problem. Passage because of length is not visible at your end, or it's because the writing is in lighter shade. What's the problem, Anu? Passage font size. Okay, but right now font size cannot be increased. So, but I can still read from a distance. Me and the screen is approximately 1.5 feet. If you can increase this font size at your end, probably you can do this. I cannot do this from my side right now. Okay, let's move on to the question size. Next question. 62nd. In the paradox, the arrow. According to Zeno, the arrow is essentially, first is technically wrong, permanently transition movement, temporarily. Wherever you find transition, it is wrong. Perceptually at rest means you think that it is at rest, but it is not. Again, technically wrong. The philosopher proved that it is at rest, no doubt. It is actually, when we see any arrow being shot from the bow, it will move and we will see the arrow moving. But he proved that actually it is at rest. So it is deceivingly at rest means tricky part is that it is at rest, and he proved that. So even after this reading arrow, could have answered this question. 2, strictly rejected straight away because of the word transition, and perceptually means you perceive this to be at rest, but it is actually at we do not perceive anything. He proved that arrow to be at rest. It is not 2, Shalini. It is 4th. Answer to this question is 4. So third question, 63rd. How many of the following words can be used to describe Parmenides' conception of reality? Let's go back to the passage. Parmenides' perception of reality. Now where is this line where Parmenides' perception of reality? We need to third line. Okay. So Parmenides' conception of ultimate reality is unchanging means not changing, indivisible cannot be divided, imperishable that cannot be destroyed, and that to unity. So these 3 words. So therefore, let's say static means not moving. Static is equal to immutable, not moving, not changing, eternal, forever, immortal, forever, inseparable, that cannot be divided, cannot be separated. So all the 5. Answer to this is all the 5. Kind of vocab based, I think easy question. I don't know in which particular notion picked up this question, but for me, I think that it's an easy question. Am I clear, guys? Answer to this is 5th. All the 5 words describe Parmenides' conception of reality. Let's move ahead. Yes, what conclusion can be drawn from this Spirit Airlines passage question? It's a very tricky question. The line which is very tricky is somewhere in between. Okay, guys, read this question and try to figure out what is going on. So we have to draw the conclusion. A little technical question in terms of should have common sense to understand what exactly is inverse negative correlation. So guys, let's read this question. Spirit Airlines inspire a special kind of wrath means anger among the American traveling public. So means whatever this airline is doing is not taking care of customers, this is for sure. At the same time, it is the industry leader in the customer complaints by a wide margin. Most of the times customers are complaining, industry leader. In spite of the rancor it inspires, harshness or rudeness it inspires, Spirit has become most profitable in US airline in terms of its operating margin and return on invested capital. Means they invest less and they get more out of this. In spite of the fact that most of the people are not happy with this airline. The reason given by this paragraph is customer complaints generally have loose but inverse negative correlation. First of all, understand the negative. Negative correlation means anything, 2 variables have negative correlation means one is increasing, second would be decreasing. Inverse negative correlation means between what? Customer complaints and invested capital. Inverse negative means positive. That is what the catch is. Yes, Divya, you have understood. Inverse negative means customer complaints have got positive correlation with the profit. Means if the complaints are increasing, the profit will also increase. In other words, we can satisfy, we can take care of one of the two departments. Either we can have customers happy or increased profit. One of them, one of things can be done. So company decided to go for the second. That's why. But in order to make customers happy, you need to spend money. Yes, it is second. So what conclusion can be drawn? Now let's read rest other. There really doesn't need to be service component attached to the consuming airfare. So I don't know from which particular line this conclusion can be drawn. Conclusion is something drawn from the facts. Third, plenty of people think that saving 100 or more is worth a little temporary indignity. Seems to be very close, very close. So we are not talking about saving money, we are talking about return on invested capital. Therefore, rejected Spirit needs to help customer to learn about how to fly Spirit to go where. So very funny. It is generally you will find this in on cartoon channels rather than real life passenger flying the planes. So it is second, the commitment to make customer happy cost money. So that's why they invite wrath, anger. People are not happy, but still the company is profitable. That means they invest. They do not invest. The company doesn't invest in making customers happy. Rather than they are more worried about their operating margins. Therefore, second, very interesting passage. It is about malaria. How people used to take this disease, and how one Englishman Ross eliminated all the misconceptions, took away all the misconceptions with this research on this. And finally something more was added by next scientist. So let's recall this passage, rush through this passage again. I picked up one or two questions from this. So passage is about earlier what people used to think, and how these misconceptions were rejected by Englishman Ross, and how Labran had founded blood sufferer, etc, etc. Miss passage, let's talk about the journey here. So if I go to this passage, the question which I have picked, it is, what is the main lesson that this passage tries to give to its reader? What's the main idea of this, main message given by the purpose of writing the passage? So it primarily talks about how, the earlier closed mentality or some traditional beliefs stopped developing anything worth to tackle malaria, and how this Englishman Ross rejected all these myths and beliefs and started afresh and came out with a treatment, and finally the treatment was further developed. The point is, if you just stick to traditional belief system or conventional approach, not be able to solve the problem if it is a totally new event or conventional one. But if you try to think out of box or try something new, the chances are there that we can solve a problem, could be solved or can be solved. So this is the main idea. So if you have understood this message, so can we pick up the choice here, guys? Answer to this question is, I can show you the few lines from which I took this out. Yes, guys, let's try the question. What is the main lesson? I've already explained the gist of this passage. Yeah, Anu, it is third. Progress can only be achieved when we start questioning our handed down beliefs. So they question. So in 18, Lavran described animal microorganism. The first, it was known animal micro, unlike vegetable microorganism, after cycle of life. This is what they found out. This person, Lavran, also found out the blood sufferer who never recovered spontaneous malarial fever. Great number of corpuscles have no longer rounded forms. He was able to make out that they will lose potency or power to create malaria, to infect the person with malarial fever after a certain period of time. Another biological acquisition was that action on circulatory system, blood is closed system vessel that is enclosing epithelium, not permanently be incisive, solid, etc. So all these kind of belief system, they were all broken by these two people, and they were able to find out the treatment. Now, very interesting question. I think one of the interesting question in this paper, mock 12. Just read just few lines. You will just take 1 minute, and we'll try to figure out the answer. It's called para completion. We need to pick up the choice which can fill up these in between lines. Anu, third, previous question, Ashwini Kumar. I think there's some problem with the connection is there. People are playing, leaving, joining. Yes, let's go through these lines. Rationalist wearing square hats, think in square rooms, looking at the floor, looking at the ceiling. We don't know what kind of rationalists has been talked about. Rationalists have been talked about. Now, if I read the last few lines, if they tried, rhomboids means something different. Cones, waving lines, ellipses. Now look at the first half. Here the things are pretty straight. All the things are at right angle. Square, you talk about a floor, again squarish, rectangular in shape, ceiling, etc. If they tried rhomboids, rhomboid means mix of a few shapes, curve, cones, triangle plus means something different other than thinking conventional only on conventional lines. As for example, ellipse of the half moon, rationalists would wear sombreros. So passage is talking about Shalini, they confine themselves. Now you have understood. So the first group confined itself to right angled triangles. So then the theater was changed, past was souvenir. We're not talking about some kind of theater here. Hurting when they know how it feels, the Santa Claus doesn't exist. So kind of way out of track. Always being intimidated by the power of angle. It's not about power of angle. We are talking about how generally we all, including me, will all think any problem on conventional lines. It's better we just start thinking something new. That's why second. They confine them to right angle triangle. If they try, that's why second. Yes, guys, second is the best answer. In this, let's see what we have. We have got few minutes only. So would throw water on this space program question. So it is we need to pick up the choice which would weaken the point made by the question that we need to switch off the power while docking the space or taking the people out of the spacecraft in case of any trouble. So we need to dock and we need to while in case of any problem we need to switch off the power supply so that operation can be executed. So we need to take up choice where, because he assumed that this operation, because strengthening and weakening generally done on the basis of assumption. Now we need to pick up the assumption here. He thought that, he assumed that the operation being whichever has been talked about here could be performed without electric supply, power supply. So we need to pick up the option where it says that switching will result into some other kind of problem, or switching off supply. We cannot afford to switch off the power supply. So in third choice, yes, it says the air doesn't automatically circulate in microgravity the way it does on Earth. Means there Earth will not the air will not flow as it flows on Earth. So dead spots means we cannot afford to switch off the electricity or the power supply while this operation is going on, whatever has been talked about. So option number third, if true, will throw the designer plan to switch off the power supply to Soyuz. It's a Russian space station, a space aircraft. So third, yes guys, third. So the point I picked up this question just to make you understand that whenever we come across strengthening or weakening, try to figure out the assumption made by the author. Strengthening is done when we support the assumption and weakening is done when we go against the assumption. We should not play as per the fact. We should not pick up the choice which is either based on fact or it is going way out of track. So let's move ahead. A little tricky passage in terms of making you understand that how come the women earn less than men, and for every 77 cent, every dollar they earn, women earn only 77 cent for the same work, for the same stature, rank, etc. So theory in this passage, few of the social reformers, theorists, they try to explain that how come women are earning less than, because they need to take care of their homes and they will be working less in office hours or official hours, spending less in office, so therefore they'll get less salary. So this technically, but this is not explained, but passage say that this cannot be taken as very valid explanation, because at the same time they have to take care of their homes also, kids also, families also. So how this can be reduced? The question is how this can be reduced. This gap can be abridged. So it can be abridged only if the flexi timings given to, because they start at the same level, but later on down the years women will start earning less at the same level and men earn more. So that is what passage is all about. Now it says the relationship between the question I picked up is relationship to second and third paragraph. Let's say what we have in second paragraph. Second paragraph, he said there are two important factors in this comparison doesn't take into account. First, the number account. It talks about that what above comparison has been drawn two factors. Now the second says why does this happen? In spite of he has refuted two arguments in the second paragraph, and third paragraph now is author is explaining, the person explaining how it happens. So let's go back to the question. So question number 8. The relation between second and paragraph is the second paragraph provides a line of reasoning, only line of reasoning, and later provides substance that what exactly is the cause behind this. So that's how it goes. Second is the right answer. First is technically wrong, later it doesn't refute. On the other hand, it supports that how come this is happening. Third says former provides a partial explanation. It doesn't. It has provided us explanation, but it is not correct. It's not partial, but it doesn't account for. Not correct or lacking substance otherwise. The former focuses on elements considered occurrence. This is technically way out of track. It can be inferred from the passage that, now I'll wind up after just one or two questions. You are already running short of time now. At the max 5 minutes. It can be inferred from the passage that it lasts few lines. I'll just go through the last few lines. It says that granted the changes described have come about without any sort of government intention, but whether that other occupation will follow the suit depends on whether decision makers in those occupations have proper incentives. Now, if government doesn't intervene, then it is up to the employers or the in charge of those occupations whether they want to implement these changes. And changes were, as such by the passage, that women should be given flexi hours and certain other recommendations should be also there in order to help women so as the gap can be abridged. But from this, we can make out that if government had wished to intervene the profession other than obstetrics and pharmacy could have enabled flexi working hours. Now, in the passage, it is clearly shown that in pharmacy and other obstetrics, doctor, gynecologist, flexi hours are there, but in other professions, flexi hours are not there. But if government had wished, other professions could have seen the same thing happening. So third can be inferred on the basis of last few lines. So inference is something which is not directly stated, and it should be something, it should not be restatement even, it should be something based on, technically speaking, it should be based on few lines. So if I draw third and you ask me, sir, on which particular lines we have drawn this conclusion or the inference, it is the last few lines. Yeah, this was a passage I was talking about. It is about religion, and it is about ambivalence, very twisted in terms of understanding, very dicey in terms of presenting. We have also very interesting passage. So guys, how did you find this passage in terms of understanding this? Last 1-2 minutes. Okay, let me yes, Ashwani, Anu, Shubham, 12150, Shalini, Divya. So what about this passage? Rashmita, Sarthak, are you my regular student? Sarthak Nagpal, if I am able to. Yeah, you're from which batch? I think you're from your Chandigarh 8 Sector 8 student, and I think you're from my batch even. Okay. And Shashwati. So what you have to say about this passage? From my side, it is a difficult passage. Probably I shouldn't take unnecessary panga because first of all, we have placed this passage at the end of the paper, and we are already tired, exhausted after attempting DI, AR questions and rest of the English questions, and deliberately we do these things. So whenever you want to attempt this difficult passage, do at the start of the session. Okay, so last he has talked about ambivalence. So ambivalence is not just mixed feeling, it is about thinking contradictory feelings about the same setup. So he has beautifully explained the concept ambivalence. Now, if I just have to understand the meaning of ambivalence after reading first few lines, and I could have answered this question. It's not necessary for me to read the entire paragraph to answer this 89th question. That's the beauty of this passage is. Which of the following fits the bill of sentiment? Irony mentioned, and is ambivalence. That you love the same person and you hate the same person. You've got the same two different opposite feeling, not different but opposite feeling for the same thing. So in this irony is, so it is say your wife loves you much like the way she loves her most hated sister. Now this is what irony is. Even I could have answered this. Yeah, first is very funny. You love your wife as much you love someone else's wife. For boys, this is one of the best things that could happen after they are married. Very funny. Your wife loves, and second says your wife loves you as much she loves someone else. Very funny. So third, according to Freud, the person, the name is pronounced as Freud. This is the last question I'm taking up. According to Freud, ambivalence is, now I'll just reading just few lines. I'm trying to answer these two questions. I'm assuming that my vocabulary is average and I know few of the words only. Ambivalence is indefeatable, means cannot be defeated. There is no point that in the passage where we can answer this. Fourth is strictly out of track. Ambivalence is incurable. Author hasn't mentioned this as disease, therefore rejected. Now we are left with the second and third. Yeah, close choice between second and third. Ambivalence is sadistic and masochistic at the same time. First of all, throughout the passage, if you just rush through the passage, you will find the author has mentioned second, third paragraph that you will find ambivalence everywhere. I could have picked up 3, but what's the problem with second? Ambivalence is sadistic and masochistic, because you asked me, Shalini, second. No, second answer is third. Second is ambivalence is sadistic and masochistic. These are the viewpoints of Freud, but it doesn't tell anything about ambivalence. So we are talking about ambivalence right now. Ambivalence is, therefore the best answer is third. Shalini, you've asked why not 2, because these could be viewpoints, no doubt, as mentioned by Ida, but not about the ambivalence. Otherwise, sadistic and masochistic is describe the personalities, not about ambivalence. Had it only be masochistic, this could have been termed as ambivalence, because masochistic is combination of 2 words. But it cannot be along with sadistic. Technically wrong. Am I clear, Shalini? Okay, so guys, time has come to wind up the session. We are done with. So see you next time around with more inputs and more techniques to solve the questions with little efforts. And see you next time around. All the best for the next exam. So have you taken our bull mock at 13? How many of you have already taken bull mock at 13? How many have you taken bull mock? It's going on, and we shall be launching, I think, bull 14. Bull mock 13, 14 on Thursday. How many of Shalini you have taken? So how did you find this bull mock at 13? No reply from the rest of the guys. So you are just thinking of taking, or you already have taken bull mock at 13? It's going on, I think, or just ended, I don't know. Okay guys, for rest of the exams, next mock, all the best. See you next time around with more tricks and more discussion. Keep your questions ready. I'll keep my questions ready. Okay guys, see you. Bye. All the best. Shalini, to you also all the best. Okay guys, see you.